Once upon a time, the legendary car manufacturer Ferrari ruled the world of motorsports, leaving their competitors eating their dust. However, there was one team that refused to stay in the dust. It was the Ford Motor Company. The story goes back to the roaring 1960s. Back then, the 24 Hours of Le Mans was the biggest endurance race in the world. Ferrari was just unstoppable there. On the other hand, Ford Motor Company was just an ordinary automobile company that was known for producing reliable and affordable vehicles for the masses. But this didn't sit well with Henry Ford II, the grandson of the iconic Henry Ford. He wanted his company to be known for more than just practicality, wanted them to be known for power, precision, and victory. So he made an offer to Enzo Ferrari, the boss of Ferrari, to buy his racing department. But Ferrari rejected the deal. Not only that, he did it in the most humiliating way possible. He offered to sell Ford a car for $10 million. Ferrari responded by saying that he would sell him to Ferraris for that amount. Needless to say, this rejection really sparked a fire in Henry Ford II. He turned around and said, "We'll build a car so fast and so powerful that it will leave all of these Ferraris in the dust." And that's exactly what he did. He created a prototype called the Ford GT40, which was named after its 40 inches of height. Now, building a successful race car is no easy feat. It takes a lot of expertise, skilled engineers, and a bit of luck. And for this, Ford joined hands with the legendary racer and engineer, Carroll Shelby. So he brought in Miles, and together, they started working on the Ford GT40. But at first, it was far from successful. The car kept breaking down. It often burst into flames, killing several of their test drivers. And when it didn't break down, it crashed. The critics laughed at their failures, and even the Ford executives doubted Shelby and Miles. But here's what happened next. After each failure, Shelby and Miles would regroup and come back stronger. They studied every setback, analyzed the data, and made improvements based on their findings. They worked tirelessly, pushing the car and themselves to the limit, and the results eventually started to show. The Ford GT40 became faster and more reliable, setting new records at racetracks all over Europe. Then came the ultimate test, the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France. This race was the most prestigious event in the world of endurance racing, and it was dominated by Ferrari. But this year, things were different. The Ford GT40 was ready, and so were Shelby and Miles. On that fateful day in June, 3 Ford GT40s took to the track, each with a team of skilled drivers. The race was intense, and Ferrari was determined to maintain its winning streak. But as the laps ticked by, something remarkable happened. The Ford GT40s started to pull ahead. The crowd roared with excitement as the lead changed hands and the tension mounted. Finally, after 24 hours of grueling competition, the 3 Ford GT40s crossed the finish line, winning first, second, and third place. This victory was a shock to the world of motorsports. No one had ever beaten Ferrari at Le Mans before, let alone by such a margin. Ford had done the impossible. As for Ken Miles, he continued to push the limits of speed and racing, but his relationship with Ford ultimately deteriorated. Despite the immense success he had brought to the company, Miles was not given the recognition or reward he felt he deserved. Disillusioned and underpaid, he left Ford and moved on to other racing ventures. But his contributions to Ford and to the development of the GT40 would never be forgotten. And that's all for today's story. If you liked this story, comment "Never Quit." And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next story.